between Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, despite us never hearing directly from Rodgers as things continue to leak out. The latest reports are that Rodgers often refers to GM Brian Gutekunst as Jerry Krause in group chats with teammates, making reference to Michael Jordan's adversary in the Last Dance documentary. There's also rumors that Rodgers wants Gutekunst or his backup, quarterback Jordan Love, gone if he is to return, among other things. So, Shannon, do you like the way he is handling this?
Well, Skip, I don't have a problem with it. I think the thing is what has transpired is that, Skip, we hear these stories, two brothers get into a fightable piece of chicken or somebody did this. But, Skip, that's not the issue. There was something else that led up to this. There's a reason why Aaron Rodgers, now the frustration has bubbled over. There are a lot of little issues that could have been resolved that weren't resolved. Now, this might be the final straw. The Jordan Love might be the final straw that broke the proverbial camel's back, but there are a lot of little issues. The Alex Van Pelt, the Kumaro, the Jared Cook. There are a lot of things that led us to this. Maybe not being heard about Mike McCarthy and getting the massages on Saturday, not doing walkthrough. I believe this was the final straw, but there are a lot of other little issues that were behind the scenes, Skip, a lot of little brush fires that could have been put out, but then you let them get to be a forest fire. Not everybody get an opportunity to see just how big the blaze is. And that's what we're seeing here. And when he refers to Brian Gutekunst as Jerry Krause believed it was him and organizations that build championships. Well, Michael Jordan says, hold on, what? There was no championship playing when I had 102-degree fever, Skip. And if you notice, Skip, a lot of the things, the way they would belittle. Now, I don't agree, saying a little thing, call him little man, and doing little thing, little gestures like that, Skip. I think sometimes it can go overboard. But you see, it was a lot of little things that led to the dissension that Michael Jordan and a lot of the players had towards Jerry Krause. And this is a very similar situation. A lot of little things build up into this one big thing. Skip, and for me, a lot of people hold it against Jerry Krause. Even Jared Reinsdorf, once you see that Last Dance, that Jared Reinsdorf, he skated for a long time because everybody disliked Jerry Krause so much. But Jared Reinsdorf could have put a stop to this. And they say, you know what? Both of you guys ended this championship run prematurely. And it seems to me Mark Murphy and Brian Gutekunst is trying to end this championship window of the Packers prematurely. Well, you drafted a guy that you felt was going to be able to replace Aaron Rodgers. You're Weezy, very connected to the Packers, got his ear to the ground, says, hey, they really like Jordan Love. So I don't really know what the holdup is. Now, you moved up in a draft to select a guy, you moved from 30 to 26 to select Jordan Love. You're hearing that, oh, guy playing pretty good. So I don't know what's the reason why you want to hold on to him. You weren't willing to commit because that's why you took Jordan Love. So Aaron Rodgers is like, okay, you weren't willing to commit. You've been saying all these things. The Packers have been leaking a lot of stuff. But nobody, oh, you heard that what they said about? Yep, I believe everything that they said, everything that's coming out about Aaron Rodgers, everybody wanted to believe. Now Aaron Rodgers' team possibly is leaking things. Oh, Aaron is handling it so wrong. You shouldn't handle it like that. You didn't have a problem with the Packers handling it the way they handled it, leaking stuff about Aaron Rodgers. This is where we are right now, Skip. And it seems to be it seems like every single day things get more and more out of hand. Reports about he advised free agents that he weren't going to sign back. That seemed to didn't work because Bakhtiari signed his deal last year. Aaron Jones signed his deal, two of the guys that he's probably closest to on the team. So for me, Skip, look, we all would like to keep private matters private. We'd like to keep family business because teams always talk about we're a family. And, we always like to keep our dirty laundry. Skip, we like to keep them things here. We don't put them out there so everybody can see our business. But it is what it is now. It's here now. Green Bay, what's your best course of action? How do we get maximum value for Aaron Rodgers? Because it seems to me he's pretty dug in. He's made it abundantly clear, Skip. I'm not so sure that, well, what if they trade Jordan Love? But you got to, under the assumption someone wants Jordan Love. Because remember now, Skip, he was already down to 26. So for me, the question is, Skip, Brian Gutekunst. It seems to me Aaron Rodgers says either he go or I go. Do you want to publicly fire the GM and basically tell the entire NFL, the entire U.S. population that Aaron Rodgers is in control at Green Bay? I don't think they want to do that, but I don't really know a whole lot of other choices that they have. Aaron seems pretty dug in about not wanting to play under the current set of circumstances.
Okay, now it's my turn. I am sick and tired of this story. Aaron Rodgers is at it again, and he's pulling it off again. He is the NFL's LeBron James. He is a master media manipulator. Aaron Rodgers somehow manages to get more passes than he throws on a football field, and he is getting the biggest pass of his career right here, right now. Have we heard one peep from Aaron Rodgers yet? No, because he has leaked his way back into somehow becoming a sympathetic figure in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Poor Aaron. They mistreat this poor man so badly after he won an MVP. You know what that MVP is worth to me? It is worth no more than the cost of making that trophy. How much would it cost to make an MVP? Nowhere. You can't even ride the subway on that price. The point is, it is meaningless unless you cash it in the postseason.
Okay.
So how is he getting away with this again? I don't know.
He didn't get away with it.
He got away with it.
We beat him up.
Okay, here's what happened. Let's go back to your favorite word, context.
Yeah.
Let's go back and look at what was happening when they took Jordan Love. And I have absolutely no problem that they took him and that they did not inform Aaron Rodgers that they were going to take him. And I still say, on draft night, you never know how it's going to fall.
Right.
And maybe it's going to fall for you correctly. And maybe you're leaning toward this kid from Utah State, Jordan Love. You like him, but could you really trade up to snatch him before somebody else does late in the first round? And as you just pointed out, they go from 30 to 26. They don't know for sure. So you don't want to put Aaron on notice until it happens. So you have 10 minutes on the clock. You're trying to finalize a trade. And maybe you'd have 1 minute sometime in the 10 to make an emergency call to Aaron in its estate up in Malibu, not far from where we sit right now, and say, hey, Aaron, this deal just came through, and we're about to take your replacement, Jordan Love. How could, just because you let him know, you quote-unquote keep him in the loop, do you think that was going to make him any happier? No.
Skip.
No,
Skip. I'm not Skip. You could have said, look, Aaron, we're going into the draft. There's a possibility that if the guy that we're like is there, we're going to take him.
What if he's not there? What if you don't take him? Now you've opened a door that you don't want him to run through.
What you mean, Skip? You just gave him a heads up.
Okay, so what was Aaron at that point? 1 year ago, before he won this, what was his third MVP?
Third MVP.
Okay, I'm going to put you back in context because most people have lost sight of where he was at that point. Right. They had gone 13-3, but even you said, as an Aaron Rodgers fan, that it wasn't all about him. They just had one of those magical mystery ride years where everything turned right. Remember, they were a turnover machine. They were creating and cashing on turnovers like crazy. Yeah. And they were a little bit of a fraudulent 13-3. And right on time, predictably, they got exposed at San Francisco in the NFC Championship game. Aaron Rodgers stunk up that game. Again, the defense got run off the field. I give you that. By Kyle Shanahan's offense. They just literally ran them out of the stadium. But Aaron stunk again in yet another NFC Championship game. He had a QBR of 33. He had two interceptions and I think he lost 2 fumbles in that game. So I think he had 4 total turnovers. QBR of 33 on a scale of 0 to 100. So that was his worst QBR of his playoff career. And again, his stats had fallen in QBR and completion percentage for 5 straight seasons. They had declined down to that. And I'm going to read this one more time because it's your favorite website, Pro Football Focus, just to get us back in the moment ahead of that draft that we were all in then, that we've all forgotten about now. And the moment was that Pro Football Focus did not include Aaron Rodgers in its top 50 players. And it wrote, Rodgers has become ever more evidently part of the problem in Green Bay, and his own team spent the offseason laying plans to minimize his role in 2020 and replace him beyond that. Rodgers finished the regular season as the number 9 ranked quarterback, but over the last 8 weeks of the season, he ranked just 17th. Okay, I can argue that taking Jordan Love was the greatest thing they ever did for Aaron. It's even better than adding receivers, because did it not relight his fire? Did it not get his attention? Did he not respond with an MVP season?
So I can say what Coach Belichick and them do it by Tom Brady by not re-signing him, relit the fire under Tom. Because remember his last game? You remember how he played down the stretch?